welcome back to my channel and to another video. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, I am going to be talking all about moving and the experience that we have had with moving to Manchester and relocating our whole lives to a completely different part of the country, and just to talk through how it's all been and the tips and tricks we have for dealing with different things, and just to say how we're feeling now and whether this was the right thing for us. So if you want to see our thoughts on moving to Manchester and relocating our lives, then just keep on watching. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jess and I relocated to Manchester 4 months ago with my partner Callum. We are so excited and happy about the move, and I thought I would just talk through how it all went, and now that everything's calmed down, how we feel about the move and whether we think it was the right idea for us and whether we regret anything. So to start with, in October of 2019, I finished my job in Tunbridge Wells. That is where I used to live with my parents, and my brother used to live around the corner, so I was quite close to my family. We'd had a few ups and downs, but obviously we loved each other and we were all living together. My brother just recently moved out with his fiance, so that was a big change. And then my boyfriend and I decided we were going to relocate up to Manchester with my auntie. So we got to October and it was the 13th of October, and we packed up all our things in a van, and Callum's dad drove it up here for us. I know this is a bit of a recap of like we've moved video, but I'll link that down below as well, but I just thought I'd go over it again for you guys. And we drove up to Manchester and got things started. So in the first month, I went from having a job and having like steady income to suddenly having nothing, and that was a big step for me because I do suffer with anxiety around new situations. So moving so far up the country and not having the stability of my parents to help was quite scary, and I did go through a stage of having quite a few panic attacks and just feeling very unsettled, which is not what you want when you're moving into a new house. I just felt very uncomfortable because I'd never moved in my life. I'd always lived in the same house. I am nearly 20 and yeah, 19 years-ish in the same house and never moved once. So the whole moving situation was a big thing for both Callum and myself. Callum did move house when he was younger, but it was literally round the corner. Neither one of us has ever experienced a relocation. So that was quite a big thing and quite a scary thing for us. And so that first month was really difficult, and it was kind of the make or break of the whole experience, because Callum had transferred up here with a job. I had left my job behind and was hoping to find a job quite quickly, which obviously is not the case all the time, and I was kind of a bit optimistic with that. So I moved up here without a job, got to week 3, and I decided I could not go on without having a job, and decided that it was time to just apply for anything that I could. I had been applying, I think I applied for 80 places, and I still get emails through from them now saying that they have availability, but I applied for so many places. So I went to an agency in week 3, and on the Friday they offered me a job, and by the Monday I started. So I worked there and I got a new car, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine. By the end of that week, I hated my job so much. I didn't talk to anyone, no one wanted to talk to me. I didn't know what the job was about. I didn't understand what I was doing. There was no training whatsoever. And because I was so anxious about moving anyway, the fact that no one was talking to me made me feel like such an outsider, because I sound different to everyone up here. I'm not northern, I'm southern. I sound quite posh apparently to everyone up here. So that was quite difficult. So the Monday after that week, I went in and got my timesheet signed, and basically just said, I can't work here anymore, this is just not for me. I then came home and I was like, yes, I feel a bit more relaxed because this job just was not for me. I knew that it wasn't for me as soon as I left that office and felt so much happier. If I felt scared, then I would have known I'd made a big mistake. But because I felt so happy and felt like the decision was right, it made it a lot easier. The same afternoon, so on that Monday, I got a call saying that they wanted me to go in for an interview for another job. Again, it was in like a contact centre, which the previous job was like. And I was so scared to accept this interview that I tried to self-sabotage it and try to like put them off from like employing me or even inviting me for like a face-to-face interview. Luckily, it didn't work. I have no idea why. I literally told them I didn't want the job, but apparently they didn't understand that and just wanted me anyway. So on the Monday I got invited for an interview for the Friday, and I went along and I was like, I need a job. I have a car that I have to pay for. That was when I started to spiral again, and I was like, no, I've got to go for this interview and I've got to get it. It was so like well paid, like a lot better than what I was on in Tunbridge Wells. So I went for the interview, I met some amazing people, and I got offered the job on the spot with a group of, I think there was 11 of us, and 2 of them had already been offered the job at like a one-to-one kind of interview, but I think they just gave up on that idea and just employed everyone that went for the group interview. So I met some amazing people and I started the job on the Monday, and I have to say that is where I am now. I'm at that same job. I have been away, as you guys know. I've been away for training twice. I have been going through a lot of training for this job, and I have to say it's not the best job in the world, but no job really is unless I could do this full time. Oh my word, would be a dream. But it's a job to pay the bills, and I have met some really, really good friends of mine, and I'm really happy to say that they are my friends. As cringy as it sounds, we literally clicked like that. Like from the first interview, we all became really close friends and we were so excited to work together. Unfortunately, people have dropped off along the way, but like most people are still there, and I really, really, really enjoy going to see them every day, if not enjoying the job as much, but it makes it worthwhile when you get on with the people that you're working with. So that was the job situation. I have now got a job and I'm stable in that job. I have still got my car, which I'm really happy about because it is mine and I don't have to share it with anyone. It is literally my car, unlike my old one where I had to share it with Callum. So that was fine. That was like a stable part of the journey, and it just made it easier that was something that happened. We did move up here with my auntie, and we do live with my auntie in a house in Manchester, and we do like split the rent and everything. And I think that's where Callum and I find it very, very difficult. We do try our best, we all try our best, but my auntie has not lived with anyone in so long. She has lived on her own most of her adult life. So the fact that she's now moved in with 2 people and we're a couple and she doesn't have anyone, which is really sad. Obviously I would like her to find someone, but the fact that she has moved in with a couple, and it makes it really difficult. Like I don't want to diss her on here, like I do love my auntie, but it has made the transition a lot more difficult, because it's trying to find that boundary between auntie and housemate. And because there's quite a big age gap between myself and my partner and my auntie, I keep saying my partner, it's Callum, my boyfriend. Because there is that age gap, it gets quite difficult in the house because she knows how she wants things to be done, and we are trying to experience moving out, and this is kind of like our stepping stone. So it's like a baby step between my parents and moving out to our own place. It's kind of like a midway point. And we thought it was going to be a lot easier we didn't expect to have so many hiccups along the way, and so I don't want to say arguments, but there's been quite a few times where we haven't agreed, and it does sometimes feel like living back at home, but that's no fault of my aunties, that's no fault of ours. It's just trying to find that balance with the relationship and trying to find the middle ground where we all agree on everything, which is really difficult when you have some like really strong-willed people in the house. So I'm not trying to diss my auntie, but I wouldn't say if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't move out with my auntie, just because I feel like it's put quite a big strain on our relationship, and I didn't want that. I don't want family arguments. I don't want people caught in the middle of things. We are fine at the minute, but that does sort of chop and change depending on how we're feeling and depending on how the situation's going, how work's going, and everything like that. So that makes it really, really difficult. I feel like I'm just blabbering on, but I did want to sit down with you guys and just sort of take this off my chest and let you know how moving is going. And yeah, because we are only 19, and I know a lot of people would be going off to uni at this point, and I would have been if I'd carried on my education. But I feel like uni and moving out are two completely different things, because at uni you have a place to stay where you pay like a small amount and bills are included. All you have to worry about is food. Obviously that it is quite a bit. You can always go home like for the holidays, and you don't necessarily have to have a job. You can live off your student loan if you want to. And I'm not saying that that's easy, but I feel like I would succeed with that a lot more than I would succeed with this on my own. If I had to do this alone, I think I would have given up by now, and I think I would have gone back home to my parents, because the amount of times I have cried down the phone to my parents saying that I miss them and that I just want to go home. I still have days like that. I still have moments where I'm just like, I just want that family connection. I want to have a family meal again. Not gonna cry. But I always know they're on the end of the phone, and I know that I can plan trips down there, and I know that I will see them. But with a job, I have to make sure I can book the time off work, because it is quite a long way. It's at least 4.5 hours home. It's not something you can just do in a day. We have travelled up to Manchester in a day, and it was the worst trip of my life, and I literally wanted to collapse and sleep the whole time. So it is really, really difficult, and I have got a few tips and tricks on homesickness. So do give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see that, because obviously loads of people suffer with homesickness, whether it be from going away for a night, which I always have suffered with, like homesickness for at least a night, or going away for uni, or just moving out in general, whether it be round the corner or relocating miles away. But I do always know that if I ever have a problem, my parents are on the end of the phone, and I video chat with my family, and I get to see my nephews and my brother and his fiance, and I love you guys so much, and I do miss you guys. So we always go down. We do have like a few trips planned this year to go back down, so that'll be really nice. And it's all about planning those little trips and aiming for them, and that really gets me through and really like gives me a focus, because I always know there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's a break somewhere. But as for moving, I definitely know if I feel like I've gone off on a tangent, I always do this. When you move out and not go to uni, if you just move out, you have bills to think about. I had medical things to think about, so I had to move all of my diabetic stuff up here, and that was really difficult. I've literally just got that sorted, and it's been 4 months. That was the most stressful time of my life, and it caused me so much like problems. My sugars were all over the place, my skin was a mess. I am finally getting that sorted. But moving and like relocating is a massive step, because you have to literally move your whole life to a completely different part of the country, and there's so many things you have to change that you don't think about, like the electoral roll, your driving licenses, your bills, make sure you get everything sent to the right address, and it's quite a bit to kind of navigate yourself around, and then having to get a new job. And in the midst of getting a new job, I had to sort out my tax, and I've never ever in my life had to think about tax, because even though I've had a couple of like jobs, I had McDonald's, and then I had my last job at the Kent Certificate Centre, I have never had to think about tax. I literally just look at it and it goes, that's come off your paycheck, it's being paid here, that's fine. I didn't know about emergency tax. I don't really know what a P45 is, and I really do think it is something that should be taught in schools. And sitting there on the phone to the taxman and going, I actually don't know what you're asking me. You're asking me all these questions, but I literally don't know what you're asking me. And that was quite a big step. It didn't even make me feel grown up. I felt like an idiot. And that's a horrible feeling to have, especially when you don't really have anyone around that understands. Like Callum understands because we're in the same situation. But my auntie, she has her own business, so she's always understood, well, not always, but she has an understanding for tax. I don't know what it is, I just pay it, and I'm happy to pay it, but why do I have to be the one that sorts it out is basically what I'm saying. But it's my responsibility, and it just blows my mind because I've never had to think about it before. And it's a scary thing, because if you don't pay enough, you end up paying so much more to the taxman because you get sent this big bill at the end of the year that you have to pay. So I'd rather just get it sorted and finish the situation. But yeah, that made it all a bit unreal. So yeah, like moving out and moving to uni, I feel like are two different things, because uni, you keep everything at home, but you just move yourself to and from. Whereas relocating, you literally have to move everything. It took us a long time to like figure out what we had to change. I would say we still have a few things that we haven't changed. Like I think like small things like my Boots points card is still registered to my parents' address. Obviously they still live there, but if they didn't, I would need to get that changed. So it's a difficult one. It's just working out what you need to do and what you don't. But as for the whole moving situation, I don't regret it at all. I did a couple of months ago. If you'd asked me this about, I'd say, about a month ago, I probably would have said yes. And I probably would have said if I had the chance, I would literally go back home today and pack up my stuff and just go. But at the minute, we are really happy with where we are. Callum has got a job, which is the best thing in the world. Even if he doesn't really enjoy it that much, it means that he has something to do during the day and he's not here watching us all go off to work, and his life's kind of starting to move forward being up in Manchester. I feel a lot more settled. I have friends, and we are actually looking at getting our own place in October and like moving out permanently, just Callum and I, which I am so excited about. And we have seen a few houses that we quite like, but that's a couple of months in the future at the minute. But it makes me so excited, and again, it's another aim for us. It's another goal that we are aiming for, and we will do anything to make it happen. But I just kind of wanted to do this video so you guys could see that it is possible. It's difficult. Obviously, it did help that my auntie moved as well, because it wasn't like we had like rent to pay. So for the first month, we haven't really paid anything till like 2 months ago. So that made it really easy. Well, I say really easy, but it made it easier. If we had rent to pay, I think it would have been a lot scarier, especially since I didn't have a job. If you are given the opportunity to relocate and you really want to do it and you're scared, I just say look into the options and think, could my life be better off up there or wherever you're moving to? Because we were looking at moving out in Tunbridge Wells, and I'd say we would just about be able to scrape for a 1-bed apartment or a 1-bed house. Just up here, there's so much more opportunity. Things are cheaper, petrol's cheaper, rent's cheaper, houses are cheaper, and it's just given us that opportunity to step onto the housing ladder at some point. Obviously, if we did want to move back down south, that is always an opportunity, but for the minute, I think our life in Manchester will be where we're at for the next couple of years until we think about like our future and like where we want to settle down and things like that. So for the minute, I'm happy where I am, still a bit homesick, but I am a bit of a wimp when it comes to that. I'm a bit of a mummy and daddy's girl. I'm kind of both. So I do love my parents so much. So it does make it difficult that we are so far away from each other. But I know that I will see them soon, and they're always like there if I need them. I literally can send my mum a text and she will ring me or text me back at any moment. So that is so nice. And I just say, take the leap. If you're offered the opportunity, just jump for it. If it's not the right thing, you can always go back. But I just think if I had to recommend anything to anyone, I would say Manchester's a good place to move, but if my parents could move with me, yes. But I would just say go for it. Go, if there's anything being offered to you, whether it be a job or a moving opportunity, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You'll figure it out. You can't have everything planned. As everyone always says to me, you can never plan everything down to the last second, because you'll end up focusing on that so much you'll miss out on the bigger picture. And it has taken me a while to learn that, and it's taken me a while to sort of appreciate what's going on and stop like aiming for the next goal. You just have to enjoy where you are now and just see what life brings you. And yeah, I am enjoying myself and I love doing this. It's kind of an outlet for me, and it's meant I can like still do what I love to do even though we have moved. And it is really nice. Okay guys, so I know that was quite a long, lengthy video of just me blabbering on at you, but I wanted to let you guys know what has been going on, because obviously I've been doing like makeup videos and things like that. I haven't done any vlogs or anything like that since like December or like October, November time. So you guys haven't really seen what's been going on in my life, and I like to keep you in the loop a little bit. Obviously there are some things I like to keep to myself, but I like to let you know that it is scary, but it has been completely worth it, and I have such a good support system that would do anything to help me and to help Callum. So that has been a massive help, and I just wanted to let you guys know that it's worth it. And if, like I said, if you get the opportunity to do anything spontaneous or massive, to not think into it too much and try to plan too much into it, because you will not enjoy it as much. You just need to sort of go for it and just see what happens. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Comment below any other videos you want to see. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my uploads. I upload on a Wednesday, Friday and a Sunday at 7 PM, so don't miss that. Also follow me on my social media, which is linked down below, and don't forget to check out my latest video, which is also linked down below for you. I always link any video that's related to this video down below as well, so don't forget to check that out. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!